Hello, Eloise Ansell here. Hello, welcome. So, this week on Clinic Chats, I actually wanted to talk about what came up in the recent What's Your Story series, which I just finished. So, What's Your Story was an amazing series. I'm going to make sure it's available for all of you. So, if you want to grab it, I will pop the link below. But we basically went on a 3 week journey together, and it was a really delicious series of lots of possibilities, getting lots of little feedback coming in as people are finishing it because I just finished it on Friday, and some people play catch up. So the live round is over, but you can still join if you want and go on this journey. So we spent a week looking at what our story is. What are we making of our life? What are we saying to ourselves? What are we creating? Then we spent a week breaking it down, like looking at breaking down what, well, by observing it we can sometimes break it, but really breaking down that story. And then the third week, opening up to new possibility, what a new story could be. What do we really want in life? And this is a really lovely series. I enjoyed it so much, getting loads of nice feedback, and excited as the rest drips in as everyone finishes this series, because although everyone who joins in live, they don't always listen every day, so it's normally a couple of weeks till everyone finishes. So looking forward to hearing the rest of it and seeing what changes for them over the coming months as well. I always love that feedback that drips in months later. But anyway, I could talk about What's Your Story forever. But what I want to talk about is in week 3, when we were looking at what possibilities there are for something different and what else we can kind of choose, create in life and all the rest of it, there was some resistance coming up. And that resistance can take all different shapes and forms, but it brought me back to a theme that I end up talking a lot about, and I've talked a lot about over the years, and that's how we try and keep ourselves safe. So if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the number one need of human beings is safety. And our body is hardwired to be safe. So if we are in a situation which can be horrible, it can be painful, it can be not what we would like at all in any way, shape, or form for a million reasons, it's still a known thing. We know how to deal with it. We know how to play that game. It's safe. Anything that we have experienced before, be that pain, abuse, you put your label in that words, anything that we've experienced that we already know how to navigate, we know how to show up as us in that scenario or situation, that is safe for us. So we can continually get stuck in our story or our victimhood or whatever it is because it is safe to us. So we can get a lot of resistance mentally, emotionally, physically, like on all levels, to choosing something different and being something different. And that was what we were really breaking down in the final few sessions of What's Your Story? And it's a topic I talk a lot about, fear. Like, we need fear in life. Fear keeps us safe. Like, my classic example, and if you followed me before, you've probably heard me say this a million times, but it's my favourite. I live on the road with a lot of buses that go by, so it's a great way of looking at this. If I go to cross my street, the practical thing is to look both ways and make sure there isn't a bus coming, especially with these electric buses that are very quiet. I need to look to make sure that there's nothing coming before I cross the road. That is a practical amount of fear. If we have too much fear or too little fear, then we're going to have problems. So if I just run out into the road without looking, I'm asking for trouble. But also, the other side of it is that I may never leave my flat because I'm scared of crossing the road. I'm scared of being hit by a bus the moment I leave my flat. I can sit in my flat worrying about buses hitting me 24/7. Chances of that happening while I'm sat in my flat, very slim, but I can still be playing that record in my head. So that is a very simple example of having too much or too little fear. We need to be in a practical place with it. And it's the same with being safe. I'm not going to go and start sleeping on the streets necessarily. That might not be the safest thing for me if I don't have to. I want to feel safe in my home at night. That's a basic human need. And so we will find ways of holding ourselves in our old story, holding ourselves back, just creating the same old thing all the time, because doing something different is new and scary. So if you want to look at this and you want to start breaking down some of this and you want to actually look at your story in a bit more depth, look at what's your story. It really would be a really great series to take, just to start breaking these things down. And it's like anything, we're not going to change the world in, a couple of weeks of 10-minute, 20-minute sessions every day. But if you keep working with it, and there is some homework to do, or home play, as I sometimes call it, uh, in the series. Like, if we actually do the work and we start to look at stuff and we start to break down our story and start to open up to what we want instead, then things start happening. And things have started happening for me running the series even. So it can bring stuff up, it can bring big change, believe it or not. And sometimes it's small things, and it's just those, like, keep chipping away at the iceberg, you're going to create something different. But it begins with having to start the work. So if you want to start that journey, if you want to start breaking down your story and creating something different, check out the series, because it was awesome. And yeah, if you want to really dive into more about this and hear more about it, check it out. Anyway, where are you with safety? Where are you with fear? Are you being too fearful? Are you not being fearful enough? Where are you? You got that kind of balance in the middle. And around safety, where are you keeping yourself small because you're trying to stay safe? It's a good question to ask. And you might get some awarenesses about what you can change in your life anyway. Have a great day. Any questions or comments, pop them along with the video. And I hope to see you popping up on What's Your Story. I'd love to hear some feedback from those that have done it as well. Okay, take care. Bye.